皆さんこんにちは. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about ChatOps and how to integrate it with Line. Okay. So first of all, let me introduce myself since there's no MC here. So um, so who am I? I'm from Taiwan, Line Taiwan. My name's Denny. I'm currently in charge of developing Line Now service. Yeah. Okay. So I'm a front-end engineer. Okay. So today this is our agenda. We're gonna talk about like what is ChatOps, and later on we'll talk about the chatbot framework we're using, which is called Urbot, and then we're going to introduce how to integrate Urbot with Line, and then we'll show some examples. Okay, so what is ChatOps? Anyone here heard of ChatOps before? Okay, cool. ChatOps. Well, if you haven't heard of ChatOps, you guys must have all heard of DevOps, right? Okay, so ChatOps is like you put tools for developers and DevOps tools, so developers can easily like put stuff like run builds and all that across different environments. Because in today's architecture, the applications and services tend to be like more microservices oriented. So you have to like automate a lot of things so your service gets smooth. So here's a phrase from like a GitHub engineer who I think he was the first one who introduced the concept of ChatOps. So he said that ChatOps is by placing tools directly in the middle of a conversation. So the important point is placing tools, and these tools are not just for developers, Okay, so who who are these tools targeting? Well, developers, of course. So developers can like run builds, run tests, and then it can run like CI pipelines, and also it can like deploy your latest code to an environment and so forth. And who are others, like project managers? What can project managers use these pod for? And they can like issue commands to check like what are the latest tasks that needs to be done. And also marketers. Like who are the marketers? Like the people who are in charge to like reach out to other businesses. So they might want to know like the latest stats of your service, like the page views and like the latest like traffic and all that. So ChatOps can give you all that, and also a lot more. Like if you can think of anything that will be easier to access from the chatbot in the chat room interface, you can put it and use like chat commands to do it. Okay, so we're now we're introducing a framework called Urbot. How many of you have heard of Urbot? Yeah, okay, none of you. Okay, it's fine. But what about Hubot? Have you guys heard of Hubot? Yeah, okay, cool. Hubot is made popular by GitHub. Okay, but here we're introducing an alternative called Urbot. So why we're using Urbot? Because like one of the, oops, okay, hold on, too quick. Okay, because Urbot is written in Python, and I think Python is a language that's easy to read and easy to write. So not only developers can do Python, I think like a lot of people, if you give them like a little bit of time, they can get hang of Python pretty easily. Okay, so here are some of the things Urbot can do. Like these features are all built in. So what it can do automatic arguments parsing, and it can do subcommands. Okay, and it also can auto document your bot commands by using Python doc strings. And also, it can receive webhooks like from GitHub and all that, so your bot can react to different outside events. And it also supports like advanced features like conversation flows, so your bots can ask like sequential questions, and you can answer them sequentially, or you can issue like consecutive commands. Also, it has built-in ACLs, which is called access control list. So you can access control like what commands only like specific users can access these commands. Okay, so how do we set up Urbot, it's pretty easy. Just use pip. So you can install Urbot from Python package index, and you just call Urbot init, and it'll set up like an initial config script in your current directory. Okay, so um, okay, okay. So next, what is Urbot? Urbot is made up of these three components, which are plugins, storage, and backends. So what are plugins? Plugins are like the main features that you can extend your bots. So you can like create new commands using plugins, or you can like receive external external events using plugins. So you can write plugins that create new commands, or you can write plugins to receive webhook events and all that. And there are like 300 something plugins that's open source on GitHub that's designed specifically for robots. Okay, and next, storage. Storage is for, so your plugin can have some data persistence. So each plugin can store like user state and all that inside of the storage plugin. And the next one is backends. So your bot has to connect to some service, right? So backend allows your bot to connect to services. Okay, so next one, let's talk about like how you can do plugins. So this is like a super easy example how you can do a little plugin that just add a new command code, say hello. So you just add the bot command or bot CMD decorator to the method, and it'll turn the method into a bot command like this. Yeah, so you just say hello and you answer it. Okay, so it has a lot of different features like commands arguments parsing, like this example. If you don't put anything to split your arguments, it'll default to using white spaces. So if I want to Google some Coney images, I can just do this, and it'll automatically split the arguments to like into a list. Okay, so and also keyword arguments. If you have written Python, you must know keyword arguments. It also supports keyword arguments too. And in this example, I only specified year, and if I don't specify genre, so it'll use the default, which is action. So I can easily like do commands with default arguments. And also subcommands. By default, it'll separate the commands into subcommands if you put underscore in your method name. So like this example, I have search movie and search music, and you automatically create subcommands like these. Okay. So next, we have command filters. So you can easily filter out who can execute which commands. Like in this example, only people in the deployable users list can execute the deploy command. And next one, if you think writing command filters is too cumbersome, you can use access control lists. And you can specify which command is only allowed to execute by which users or in which rooms. Like you can only execute stats in the war room, so you can easily like control who and where the commands are executed. Okay, so so we're talking about backends. These are like some of the popular backends or popular chat services like Slack, HipChat that Urbot already support by default. But anybody notice there's a missing one here? Yeah, because we're in line and we're using line, so we're do a lines backend. So how do we do a line backend with Urbot? It's actually pretty easy because Line has an official messaging APIs SDK for Python called LineBot SDK. So we can just download that, and then we use Flask, which is also included with the Python SDK sample code. So we just, I think I just spent like 2 afternoons to hack up a little backend for Line, and it works out pretty well. And that's a link for the GIST. If you guys are interested, that's a link for the GIST. Okay, so examples. What can you do with a bot that you can add commands to? Oh, and remember, since all the commands are just simple Python functions, so anything you can do in Python, you can just like remote control it from your bots. So here's one example. Like there's a pull request merge, and the GitHub just noticed the bot, so the bot says, oh, there's a pull request from us, so I can easily just issue a command called deploy, and just easily deploy to staging environment like that. Okay, and there's another one. If I want to check like the status of my server, I can just do status check, and it'll just like run this health check on my server and say, oh, my server is up. And if I just want to like, this example only has like one component. If I want to just know like all the components, I can just do like these, and you just check up all the components and says, oh yeah, hey, your servers are all good to go. And then there's another one like if you're doing test environment and like cleaning up the test environment and reset the data to the default is pretty important. And sometimes it's like really hard to reset those data. So you can like automate these stuff using this command. So you can just say like maybe just reset the environment for me, and the bot will reset it for you. Okay, so you can think of more like these commands to do so, and they're pretty easy to write because they're just Python. So you can use like packages from different Pythons. You can like just, I think what kind of commands you can do is just like, the sky's the limit. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. Thanks.